We're just waiting for our online community to come online and we will get started. Are you there, Parker? Okay, welcome online, welcome here. Oh, it's so great to see all of you. Yay. If it's your first time back in this building, raise your hand. Excellent, thank you. You know, baby steps, right? You know, you're conditioned to do a certain thing a certain way for a long time, and then you have to take baby steps to get back to what you really want. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us online. My name is Rhonda Pignato. I'm going to be the service leader today. And I think everyone here knows, but online our minister here is Reverend Kitty Benson. She'll be up here shortly with the message on kindness, and she will be giving our opening prayer. But we have a lot going on before we get to that, and that a lot going on is called High's Good. That's our music team. They've been here through thick and thin, and we appreciate the heck out of you guys. So thank you for always being here. Thank you for being the music that is our faith, that is our inspiration, that helps our spirit to rise. And they're going to help us rise right now. So rise from your chair if you're able, and they're going to take us away.
See you smiling behind the mask. Yeah, I love it. Are you ready to sing? Let the joy of the Lord rise among us. Let the joy of the Lord rise among us. Let the praises that we sing rise among us. Let it rise. Let the light of the Lord rise among us. Let the light of the Lord rise among us. Let it shine from within. Rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Let the love in our hearts rise among us. Let it shine from within and rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Let's take it up. Let the joy of the Lord rise among us. Let the joy of the Lord rise among us. Let the praises that we sing rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Do you feel it? Let's just bask in this feeling of love, of being part of that great ocean of love. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am all the ocean in a drop. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am all the ocean in a drop. And God and I are one. This drop is the ocean. drop. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am all the ocean in a drop. And God and I are one. This drop is the ocean. Here we go. Oh, 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 ocean. Oh, 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 oh. This drop is the ocean. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am all the ocean in a drop. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am all the ocean in a drop. God and I are one. This drop is the
So glad to see these beautiful faces here this morning. Little by little, there's more volume in the room, if you notice that. And welcome, dear friends online. So glad that you could be with us this morning. I'm Kitty Benson, and we are here to just remember the truth that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And when we're here this morning, one of the ways that we have that human experience during the week is to start here. Listen to these ideas, see what fits for us, be open and receptive to Spirit. So let's begin in prayer, shall we? Loving Spirit, we are delighted to take this moment to be aware of the ever-present love and wisdom that fills heaven and earth. So grateful to know that as we move through our week this week, we carry that love and wisdom. And we are the channels for that power to flow freely through us. We say yes to that power and love, gratefully receiving as we give. And so it is. Amen. Will you help me speak our invocation? The words are up here on your screen. Together, there's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. The all-loving goodness of God. So it is. Thanks. You may be seated.
I accept my perfection, perfection shaped by Spirit's hand, and I embrace my wholeness, and in my wholeness here I stand. Healing is remembering. Healing is remembering. Healing is just remembering who I am. And I accept my perfection, perfection shaped by Spirit's hand. And I embrace my wholeness, remembering who I am. I remember who I am. Healing is remembering. Healing is remembering. Healing is just remembering who I am. Healing is remembering. Healing is remembering. Healing is just remembering who I am.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you. My hot water was down here creating a little spa. If you need a facial, just stick your head in here. You know, May's been kind of an interesting month for me. We started in my family with my mom's memorial service, who passed in early January. And it was good to have that time of closure. And also, May is the month of Mother's Day. So it was our opportunity to experience that first time without her on the planet, anyway. And tomorrow's her birthday. So, yeah, she's really on my mind. And I was thinking recently about last year's Mother's Day, the last one that I had with her. I had done a Sunday service, and then I got in my car and I drove down to Peoria to be with her. And as I drove up, there were a lot of cars in the driveway, and I realized that a lot of my nieces and nephews had come to celebrate her for Mother's Day and for her birthday. And one of my nieces came out of the door and came out to the curb and said, "Hi, Aunt Kitty, can I help you with anything?" And she was probably, let's see, she must be in her early 20s at that point. And that was nothing new for her. She was always there saying, "How can I help? What do you need?" And as we're unloading the car, she said, "You know, Aunt Kitty, I know you don't have any kids, but I feel like you're my mom too. You know, her sister is her mom. My sister, that would be weird. My sister is her mom," but she talked about the many times that she felt like I had been a mother to her, and that just opened up my heart, and I felt so good because of those kind words. And that's just her. She's just a kind person who it seems to come naturally for her. And you probably have someone in your life like that, right? Where you just can count on them to be the one to say, "How can I help?" or to say something kind to you. And you just think, how is it that some people get endowed with that? And I'm here to say they don't get endowed with it like separately from some of us. We all are endowed with that spirit of kindness. We've been talking about our heart over this last month. We've been talking about our good heart and our patient heart. And today I want us to look at the kind heart that we all have within us, no matter what. Jeff, I am hearing music from the front room. Would you mind bringing that into the silence? Thank you, I appreciate that. You know, one of the reasons that I promise you kindness is natural for each one of you is because you're spiritual beings. I know it feels like sometimes your human has taken over, and that's pretty normal for this experience on earth, But at the same time, your true self, the one that's eternal, that was here before the body and will be here after the body, is a perfect expression of kindness. It's constantly seeking to give of itself. Now, with the coordination in the body, we do have those challenges where the human ego is more focused on self. That's kind of its nature. And so if for some reason it's constantly seeking to survive and be secure and feel worthy. So if it's being threatened in some way, it shifts into this unkind mode, or this judgmental mode, or this feeling of fear or selfishness. So this is a chance for us today to remember, yes, that's a part of me, but it is not all of me, and it's not my true identity. I don't have to allow that part of myself to drive my behavior. Just notice, don't beat yourself up when you're in those unkind moments, but just notice and have hope that there is a stronger part of you that can actually reveal that kind nature. And today I wanted to take kind of a two-pronged approach to this. To me, we have to first lay a foundation of understanding of who we are. Each one of us is that spiritual being that is a part of the one heart of God. And that one heart in us is constantly feeding us. It's the infinite resources that we seek, that we are oftentimes unaware of, and when we're unaware of it, that's when we become unkind. But if we could ground ourselves in a knowing of that infinite source that is God, that I am one with, that I dwell within, that I live and move and have my being in, and know that there is no shortage, then up here on the screen, we can start to shift the way that we behave in our life. Instead of the ego always saying, what about me? Where's mine? That higher self in us can say, there's always enough. The kindness in us will start to come through and acknowledge that it's safe to be kind. I can afford to be kind. And when we start to understand the one power active in this universe as God, which is a goodness that wants our good for us and that's working our good for us, then we can shift up here on the screen. Instead of, they have power over me in a sense of desperation, we can relax and know that there's nothing against me. That's what makes way for kindness, is to kind of establish that foundation of knowing. And there's those, opportunities to realize that as we all dwell in the heart of God, that one presence is us, you and I shared, one heart here, a sense of oneness and unity. And so when we let that sink into our identity, that there's only one of us here, and it's God, and it's good, and it's expressing uniquely in each one of us, that's when we can shift from, up here on the screen, instead of I'm right, you're wrong, it's more of let's work for the highest good of everybody involved. That will come naturally to us. But we have to lay that foundation of understanding what and how God expresses in this universe. Good news, through you. Always giving itself. When you understand or know the truth, as Jesus said, when you know the truth of the inner Christ presence within you, that's when you're set free. That's when, as Paul wrote to the Colossians, up here from Colossians 1:27, he said, Christ in you is your hope of glory. Christ in you is your hope of kindness. Christ in you is your hope of patience. So it's acknowledging these truths about ourselves, knowing it, being it. That's the first approach to becoming more kind, knowing that about yourself. And then secondly, it takes an outer focus to express kindness. Obviously, that's when we really see kindness, right? Is when we're sharing it with one another, when they're experiencing it with us. So it's a showing and a doing. And there are several different ways that I want us to look at this today that we can show kindness. And up here on the screen, we're going to look at a list starting with awareness. A kind heart shows awareness. And what I mean by that is that your radar is on. You're looking for opportunities. You're looking for people who need kindness today. Whether it's when you get to the office or you're in your car or you're standing in line, you're walking up and down the aisles of the grocery store. There's a lot of ways that people could just use a little physical oomph, open the door, wave them ahead, things like that. I came across a posting just yesterday. I just love, whenever I focus on something, Spirit's always providing resources, and this one just made me cry, so I'll try and do it without that. A friend posted from another woman by the name of Adele Renee. She said, "Twice this week, I've watched an elderly individual fade into the busy life in which we all live. One man just needed a Panadol for his wife, but the shop assistant simply said, 'It's in aisle 6. But he struggled to navigate the supermarket. And as I watched him go in the wrong direction, I left all my groceries and took him where he needed to go. Today, I watched an elderly man struggle in the heat, who had obviously had a fall with a huge scrape and blood on his leg. He walked past people in the cafe while he slowly made his way to his car. Not one person stopped or looked or acknowledged him. I took him to his car and checked that he was okay. And he told me that he'd had a fall and he wasn't sure once we got in the car if his air conditioning worked, so he just didn't use it. I sat with him until his air conditioner kicked in, and then I heard him talk about the old, frail body that he's in, that fails him now every single day. When you see an elderly person walking down the street, searching in the supermarket, or struggling in their car, just take a minute out of your busy schedule and ask them if they need a hand. Think about your grandparents or your parents and how upset you would be if someone didn't stop to help them. But more, think of them as you. Once upon a time, they were you. They were busy. They had work, they had children, they were able. Today, they're just in an older body that's not going as fast as it used to. And this busy life is confusing. They deserve our utmost respect and consideration. One day, it will be you, it will be us. I wish more people gave care about them, gave kindness, and acknowledged them for their admirable existence. And I hope someday, not that far away, someone does it for me. Just one of the many ways that we show that we are focused and aware when people need help. No one can do that for us, really. And it's not just physical kindness, but just being an emotionally supportive presence with a listening ear, allowing people to talk, tell their story, tell their troubles. I'm not asking you to be on point to fix anything, but I think we all know how kind it feels when someone just listens, and how we have the time to do that if we make the time. On the other hand, we often become unkind when we are threatened. We feel like conflict is about to burst out between us, and that's more important than ever to be aware in that moment of how I can be kind in this threatening experience. Part of it is recognizing that it's just opening up to what their need is. Tell me more. Or are you saying? Get clarity, get a deeper awareness before that conflict breaks forth. And you may find that you are very similar to one another. They just need a kind awareness to get things headed in the right direction. Also on our list today, a kind heart shows appreciation. That's kind of a given, right? When we remember to say thank you. And this is an opportunity to make a list of all the people that you value, all the things that come to you in your life, and how did they come to you? You know, whether you sit down and just notice, okay, my grass got cut today, and my mail got delivered, and my garbage got picked up, and there's electricity in my home. Somebody did that for me. It's, the customer service person who picked up the phone, and the gas station attendant who's been working extra hours to keep the place open. It's your spouse who went an extra mile, or your parents, or your children. So this is an opportunity for us to just remember to tell them what you appreciate about them. I'm so grateful that you answered the phone today. With all our complaints about customer service, that actually has the opportunity, our kindness first, when they first pick up the phone, has the opportunity to create a much better experience for both of us. I really appreciate the work you're doing. Thank you for answering the phone. Thanks for always going the extra mile. I really love how you care for your family. I appreciate your patience when we're in those meetings. I love how you smile every morning as I'm coming into the office. Thanks for your service. Thanks for being helpful. Just 3 or 4 words of kindness and appreciation makes a difference in people's hearts. And those people that we usually count on to make things better for us and do things for us have bad days just like you and I do, and that's when it's really important to be kind. They need your kindness when they're having a bad day. So be that, grateful for, I understand what you're experiencing, or maybe I don't, but I appreciate what you're giving. And if you want to get better at that, start by meditating daily on all the goodness in your life. Just before you go to sleep at night, just run through all the good that came into your life today. And the more that you meditate that way, the more you'll just see it around you naturally, and that appreciation will start to well up in you. And what we talk about regularly here is how appreciation is a frequency, it's an energy aligned with God. And that when we're in love or appreciation, we are tapped into the divine wisdom that we need in these moments. So allow appreciation to be one of the ways that we show kindness. And then from our list, we also show kindness through compassion. And, some of us may say, I'm not as compassionate as others, but really it's just a sympathetic understanding of someone else's pain, because it's rare that someone will experience a pain that you haven't. Would you agree? There's going to be some form of pain that you can relate to. And not only just feel their pain, but you also have a desire to help alleviate it. That's compassion. And it's that energy that we confuse with pity. I'm not saying pity, because all that does is hold them in that consciousness of victim, but simply just tap into what their heart must be feeling in this moment and empathize with that. It's that compassion that actually not only kept Jesus awake to what was going on around him, but it also was his motive for responding to it. Through his compassion, he gave, he served, he healed, he loved, he fed. So there will be an action usually that follows compassion. And if you're in a place where you're just hearing about somebody on the news, or someone's telling you about a friend and you can't act on their behalf, you can still bring them into your heart, hold them in that sacred place of love, and your love energy will actually permeate the universe, and they will know it at some level. That's a beautiful thing about prayer, is that when you don't know what is for their highest and best, you just go into an energy of love for any individual, hold them in your heart with that compassion, and you will reach them. You will reach them. Jesus made this a priority when he taught simple things up here on the screen. This is one that we all know by heart. Love your neighbor as yourself, or do to others as you would have them do to you. And a little bit different one from the Buddha. Compassion is that which makes the heart of the good move at the pain of others. So you don't have to be in the room with them, but you can move your heart in a way that holds good for them. May you be blessed. May you be well. May you be peaceful. May you be provided for. May you know the divine. Simple prayers that are kind and compassionate. And when you're in those moments where you're butting heads with someone, compassion is actually that part of our kindness that makes sure, rather than argue, and even when you know they're wrong, this is an opportunity for you to say, you know what, I'm not going to argue, I'm not going to fix, I'm not going to contradict. It's that little thought that goes through your head. Would I rather be right, or would I rather be kind? This is my opportunity. It's something about which hill do you want to die on? Kindness and compassion, you don't die. You simply bring new life to the situation. And when you relax, they will sense that. When you allow, they will sense that. And that will start to bring the walls down. Another way that kindness shows up for us is through encouragement. And we probably can't throw a rock without finding someone that needs encouragement. Don't hit them. That will definitely make sure that they, with the rock. Never mind. Bad joke. All I'm saying is there are people really close by you that need encouragement. It's everyone from a child that's heading into school today to take a test or try out for a team. It's someone who's been faced with a diagnosis or going through a divorce. It's someone that's about to move to a new city and knows no one. It's somebody who either lost their job or they're about to start a new one and they're unsure of themselves. It's somebody that was bullied today in school, or they just had a really rotten day at work. There's always someone near you who needs encouragement. And for me, encouragement is about speaking to their potential. It's reminding them of the truth of who they are. I'm not talking about getting into your preaching mode, but if you just acknowledge one of their spiritual qualities, I know you have the wisdom in you to get through this, and I'm going to hold that for you. I know that you have the strength in you to move through this in a healthy way. I know that your power of imagination is going to bring some new way of addressing this. Think of any of our 12 qualities, our power of power, which is our ability to choose again, our power of release. I know that you can let this go if that is what is for your highest and best. But you can be that encourager that brings light into the dark and energy into lethargy. And that sense of peace that lifts them up. And what I discovered this past month, just having a memorial service for my mom, was how showing up is encouraging. We are so busy. We each have a lot on our calendar. And so we have to pick and choose where we can give our time. But the kind heart knows who really needs me to show up for them. And I just affirmed that for every person that was there for my mom that day, because I didn't know most of them. She had been a part of her church for decades after I left that church, but I still saw the familiar faces from 40 years ago, and so many people encouraging me with kind words about her. And even some of my own childhood friends that went to that church with me came from distances. That's kind. That's kind. And I know that it can be inconvenient sometimes, but just ask your heart, where can my time be spent best today? Another kindness that we show is through our generosity. This is what I say, to give liberally and regularly of your time, resources, skills, and talents without expecting a return. And that's an opportunity for us to go back to that foundation that we laid, because this is the one that really pushes the ego's button. If we have to give something up that is meaningful to us, like some of our resources, we tend to think twice about that. So that's where we go back to that original idea of God as our infinite source and that we can't outgive God. So when we can be in that state of mind first, that frees us to give whatever it is that Spirit is calling us to give in that moment. And to be generous, again, maybe writing a list of people that you could support in some way, has a need. What is that need? And how might I help supply that need? My time, my talent, my resources. And then, if you still feel yourself resisting this idea, I suggest you meditate on this. Close your eyes and just imagine yourself as the flow of infinite abundance. See that divine power flowing through you. See it becoming resources or talent or wisdom or listening, whatever it is that's needed in this moment that you can give. See it already moving through you, through this flow that cannot be stopped, until you start to feel, easy and light about giving. That's the energy that we want to be generous from, is a knowing that I can't outgive God. And then be open. Keep watching for those opportunities to give. Be prepared. It might be carrying a little, care package in your car for seeing somebody standing at a stoplight with the sign that needs help, that you're ready. You're ready to give. And please know that there is no way that you can be a charitable giver without receiving yourself. That when you are giving out, The flow of God is moving through you, and you, therefore, will also be the winner, also will be the receiver. It's for both of us. Just have to remember who your source is. Let me share a quote from Eric Butterworth. He says, "You are a limitless creature in spirit, but you can manifest in your life only that much of the limitless that you can accept in your consciousness." In other words, you can only manifest enough good that you believe you have the channel or resource to give from. He says, you don't have to get anything out of the universe. You've already been given everything because you are the allness of God expressing itself at the point where you are. We each have the ability to be that channel. We just have to know first. It's not mine to create, it's mine to allow. Use some meditation time to dream how that might look for you, and Spirit will show you and will also provide for you. So when we look at this list, let's go on. All these different ways that we show our generosity, our encouragement, our compassion, our appreciation, our awareness, all these forms of kindness. When you might want to actually just jot these down. The slides will be available on with our podcast at unityinnaperville.org, so you can grab them from there. But my point is, if you put these on a Post-it and put them where it's hard for you to be kind, it might be in your car or near your phone, in the office, or when you're about to go into a very busy, chaotic situation where you tend to have your buttons pushed. Carry that around with you to remind you, these are all my abilities to be kind. And I don't have to create them, I just have to make way for them. And every once in a while, just check in and ask yourself, am I being kind in this situation? And when you start to notice up here on the screen several different things happening in your life, you'll probably be able to associate that with kindness. Up here, let's just pop them up here. Keep going through them, please, Paul. That you'll start to experience fulfilling relationships and more peace in your life and comfort when you just settle into the idea that there's nothing working against you. It's hope that there will be goodness in this relationship, and it creates a sense of self-worth. It creates better health in the body. They've found studies of this, longer lives. It's creating a sense of shared abundance with one another. And just hands down, kindness creates happiness. It removes that competition and judgment from the scene, and it also creates a sense of unity. We feel our oneness when we are courageous enough to be kind. And at that point, this is just about practice. The more you practice, the more these results will start to show up in your life. Don't forget to include yourself as a recipient. That all of those elements we talked about of kindness, show them towards yourself as well. It's kind of difficult to show kindness to another when we haven't learned how to be kind. You are worthy of kindness as well. Your ego needs to hear that, it needs to know that, and then it's more sure of itself when it allows your spirit to share that with others. And ultimately, I am a kind person works wonders. That affirmation, I am a kind person. I am a kind person. Just holding that idea before you go to sleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, when you're going into something challenging, I am a kind person. And you start to sink that down into your subconscious to where it starts to give you opportunities to be kind and to affirm your kindness. So let's take some time in the quiet and work with that as well. This is one of your greatest training grounds, is meditation. This is where you can close your eyes and separate yourself from the busyness of life where it's hard to be kind. Take a breath and just breathe in kindness. Breathe out kindness. You are receiving kindness. You are giving kindness with your breath. As I breathe, I sense that presence of God everywhere. that presence that is kindness itself. That power that's working for my good. I'm never outside God's kind heart. It beats within me and all around me. I take a moment to sense that heart of kindness that I dwell in. I feel safe and open. And ready to give. Giving thanks that the source of my kindness, the resources of kindness, dwell within. I open my heart to one person in this moment that needs encouragement or compassion. One person who needs encouragement and compassion. I draw their spirit into my heart, for we are one. You are blessed. You are strong. You are enthused with God as your power. You are loved, and you are love. Every need is provided, and I give thanks that all things are working together for your good. This is the truth of your being and the truth of my own being. We are one in God's infinite resources, and we are grateful. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Kitty. Well, this is also an opportunity where we can share in our kindness. Kindness, all those examples of one person to another are wonderful, but we can also be kind to organizations that reach out to help people. Unity in Naperville has been very helpful to a lot of people over the years, and we as a group try to reach out and to reach even more people. So if you are able, we invite you at this time to share in your kindness through love offerings. There's several ways that you can donate. The ushers will be around for the people in this room. If you're online, you can donate by hitting the donation button that should be right on your screen where you're watching, or you can go to unityinnaperville.org and find a donation button there. You can also mail it in at P.O. Box 9733 in Naperville, Illinois, 60567. And as we make these kindness donations, let's bless the offerings and let's bless ourselves and each other with this prayer. Let's say this together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. I invite the ushers to come forward.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And we are so blessed. If you're joining us for the first time here or online, we're blessed to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning checking us out and listening to the message of Reverend Kitty about kindness and just being part of our energy into this world. If you like what you hear and you want to hear some more, we invite you to check out our website. And every Tuesday morning, we also send out an email blast that goes out to anyone on our mailing list that tells you what's going on this week and upcoming weeks. If you would like to be part of that email news, please sign up for it at unityinnaperville.org and provide information about your name and your email. Or you can email admin@unityinnaperville.org, and you will be sent that e-news every Tuesday. Let's talk about what's happening this week. The event team is meeting tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. If you would like to be part of that and you haven't been up till now, please email admin@unityinnaperville.org for a link to join that meeting. It will be a virtual meeting. Next, every Tuesday and Thursday, we've been having lunch together online, hosted by our own Kim Char Meredith and Cindy Blank. And, I'm sorry, I'm used to you being up there. There she is. And that's an opportunity for people to have lunch, check in. That goes from noon to 1. You don't have to go for the whole time. You can just check in and kind of see some friendly faces without masks and share what's going on with you or listen in. Or show what you're eating for lunch that day. Whatever. It's just a nice little fun way to get together. And the way to get there, if you haven't already, and you're going to hear this a lot for the rest of these announcements, is you go to a channel called unitycommunityconnect.com. It is a special place that has been set up by Unity with a bunch of different channels in where you can get into different meetings and different events. So the channel for this meeting is going to be Lunch Together Online, so you click on that, and then there's a link to the Zoom call so that you can get in through that way. Next, if you're born in June, help you celebrate your birthday. It's always fun at the beginning of the month to see everybody's pictures. If you have a picture, please send it in, and please send in something that shows us your spirit. I love seeing pictures of people that I know in their childhood or in their teens or just when they're doing something, where they're just glowing. So please help us by sending a photo along with your name and what your birthday is by May 31st to admin@unityinnaperville.org, and we will be able to pray on you and celebrate you at the first Sunday of the month. One-on-one prayer support is available today after the meeting. In order to get it, it'll be virtual. So, if you're watching virtually, please provide your name and phone number as you email prayer@unityinnaperville.org. Do that by 12:30, and a prayer chaplain will get back to you to pray confidentially by 1 p.m. Today is our annual congregational meeting, and it's going to take place right after the service, about noon. Please plan to stay and listen as the Board of Trustees is going to lead us through all of the celebrations over the past year, all of our accomplishments, and talk about our vision for the future. There's also going to be an election of the new board members, per our guidelines. We will meet here in the sanctuary for this meeting, and it's also available via Zoom. So if you're watching online, go to that Unity Community Connect channel and click on Annual Meeting Channel, and then there'll be a link to the Zoom to get in. If you've never gone to unitycommunityconnect.com before, please go there a little early so that you just need to register in order to get like a username and a password. It's very easy, but please do that. If you forgot to bring your ballot and you're here today, and you're a member of Unity, Jeff is going to be back there at the information table, and he can provide you with a replacement ballot so that we can vote in our new members. Also, save the date. Friday, June 18th from 6:30 to 8 is Shinrin Yoku, which is a Chinese force bathing. We'll learn more about that later. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? And Saturday, June 26th from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m., Introduction to Soul Collage, Exploring the Seasons of Our Life. See our events calendar at unityinnaperville.org for more information about these and other events, and look for that e-blast on Tuesday mornings. And that's all I have. We have a closing song, don't we? And I just want to point out, I noticed this last week and the week before, that if you are joining us for the first time online or whatever, you'll see the lyrics of our song, and right under the title, usually, many of them say, written by Kim Char Meredith. So,
Thank you.
I just wanted to point that out. It's one of the unique features of Unity in Naperville is that we have this lady right here, along with our whole creative team, who also participate in creating all of our music. But I just wanted to appreciate it. I saw your name up there a couple times. I thought you need to give her a shout out every once in a while for her creative talents. So stand as you're able for our last song, please.
Not written by me, by the way. But incredible. Ricky Byers song.
1, 2.
say. Yeah, we can only be here for God because God is all there is, right? Yeah. Just keep that in mind, my darlings. And keep this in mind up here on the screen. Let this be our mantra for the week and hopefully our life. Together, I am a kind person. Just feel that in your own heart till it starts to settle in, make room, and express itself beautifully. I can't encourage you enough to stay if you can today for our annual meeting. It's a big deal for our board of trustees, who I just want to bless and thank for all of their work this past year in the midst of you know what. So yeah, it's a chance to just celebrate and also to look into the future and to bless our new trustees and release those who are releasing their term. And oh my gosh, it's a heart-opening experience. We've got goodies out in the front room for you if you can stay, so you won't starve to death. We're going to work on trying to make it happen in an hour, so hopefully it won't be too long for you either. In the meantime, love you, bless you, take your kindness out into the world. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Again, thanks for being with us online. And remember that you can watch our meeting online at unitycommunityconnect.com. Go to the annual meeting channel. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Which one? Okay. 1, 2.